What do you think of the $20 California minimum wage?
Huge policy mistake. You're going to see a lot of restaurateurs shut down. You can't minimum your wage into success. All you do is push out business because they can't compete. That was also an unfair policy because certain restaurants, it really affected fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Certain restaurants had to pay it, others didn't, which is such stupid policy. California is actually the worst managed state in the union. I would never invest there. It's a loser state. And it's been that way for a while. And you can see the collapse of cities like San Francisco and now LA. San Francisco is a war zone. I mean, you don't walk around there at night. It's completely in disarray. And I think a good example of what happens when you don't have good management.
What do you think the minimum wage should be?
I don't believe in a minimum wage. I think the market decides. People don't work if they can't make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
They go find jobs where they get paid more. If you let the market decide, you get a much more efficient economy. The minimum wage is a concept that's foreign to me because all it does is contort business. I think you'd make more money without a minimum wage. You would, particularly if you're good at what you do.
How do you feel like AI is going to be affecting that? Because we noticed, even in New York, we went to a sushi restaurant and it was almost entirely automated. They had a little iPad on the side, you press in what you want, and a conveyor belt brings out the food to you. And you could check out there. It's really efficient. McDonald's in Japan, go to the kiosk, you type in what you want, and just someone brings it to your table.
I think a lot of people were always fearing, that television would replace radio. Good analogy. Never happened. I mean, the next technology just advances. It's just a tool. It's not going to wipe out mankind. I've always thought that narrative was ridiculous. It'll take boring jobs and make them redundant for humans and let humans do other things with more creativity involved. So I really think that AI is just another tool set and way overhyped. It's like the internet was in the early 90s. It's being overhyped right now. It will not deliver on all its promises, and it'll get stabilized as a tool in many other platforms.
Where do you see it going in 20 years from now?
It'll just be an added feature to the software you use every day. Maybe we have fully automated driving, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some kind of a derivative of it. I see a lot of good use of it. We're using it ourselves in our businesses, but I just think it's a tool, and by then it'll be just normal day to day.
I tend to think that it's going to eliminate a whole bunch of jobs. Like I was thinking the other day, how cool would it be if you're building a house to type into an AI program, build me a house or construct a house that conforms to code. It already knows what the city regulations are, and it builds you the blueprints of a house that you could look through online, and it just does it with AI. And you could alter it a little bit. And it knows it could source all the materials. It could price them for you. And all you got to do is give that to a person and they just build it. So I think it could eliminate a lot of jobs.
I think it's doing that already in house building. I think there's a lot of logistics being used in shipping. We know that. I think it's already a very useful tool. And by the way, it's been around longer than people think. It's just been made famous because it's now on your cell phone. But I don't see the dark, ending of society because of AI. I just don't buy that crap. It's just another technology.
Why does it seem like everyone is so bearish on civilization right now, especially in the United States? Like everyone thinks that we're doomed to fail. It seems like, mental illness is just skyrocketing, depression, anxiety. It seems as though divorces are happening more often than not. I think it's like over 50% still, right?
It's gone down, but those are for like second, third, fourth marriages.
People are still financially suffering or seemingly so. What do you think is something that everyone is ignoring and just not thinking about that they should if they're trying to wake up from this?
A lot of people blame social media, particularly with young people, giving them anxiety. I don't really buy that. It's the same as Elvis shaking his hips on TV in the 60s. We go through different cycles in our society where the next generation shows up. Maybe this generation feels entitled because they actually grew up at a time when money had no cost. Interest rates were zero. And now they're feeling the sting of a normalized Fed. That does impact all sectors. So probably it's a little bit of that. I don't really worry too much about, the day-to-day, I think we're all screwed and society's screwed and AI is going to wipe us out. I don't buy any of that. I really don't. I think that we're just in a cycle of change, constantly changing. And the one thing that has accelerated that change is the fact that social media is ubiquitous. So when something occurs someplace, you're going to see it times a million times. It'll go viral in seconds. And I'm not concerned about that either. It's just what we have in our technology today. I just don't spend that much time worrying about this stuff because it's noise, as I said earlier. It's not signal. Just noise.
What do you think the tax rate should be? Imagine you're president. You can decide what the tax rate is. Is it progressive? Is it the opposite, regressive? Is it flat?
Yeah, it's flat. 29.5% for everybody.
For everybody.
Everybody.
29.5.
Yeah.
How do you come to that number?
There's two things I would do if I were president. One is I'd go to the flat tax for everybody, including corporations, 29.5. I don't think you'd have companies contorting and leaving at 29.5. Some people feel it's 22, but it's somewhere between 22 and 29.5. You don't want to put a 3 handle on it. It sounds too high. But the other thing I would do is take the lesson from Norway back in the mid-70s. They have vast resources of fossil fuels, as we do here. They simply put a royalty on it with one covenant. It could not be used for any other purpose except building up a trust fund. Could not be used for anything else. Could not be used for social programs. Could not be used by government to spend it. Alberta and Canada did the same thing. Norway did theirs with a covenant that could only be used to pay down national debt or build a trust fund. Today, Norway is the richest per capita country on earth. Canada, unfortunately, is the wealthiest per capita on earth in terms of natural resources per capita, but it's run by idiots. So huge difference is what has occurred. As two examples. They have $1 trillion+ sitting in their trust fund, and they use it to develop their country and educate their people. In the U.S., what we should do is open up every source of gas and oil, including the ANWR, and put a 7% royalty on it with only one mandate. It has to pay off national debt. That's all you can do with it.
Do you think that would even make a difference, though? I worry you do.
It would. Oh, my goodness. The idea that we're going to transition out of fossil fuel anytime soon, I find laughable. There's no transition. There's just diversification. We'll be using fossil fuel for another 100, 200 years.
So this is something we're talking to Peter Schiff about in terms of the national debt and then propping up the stock market and the housing market. Do you think that's the case? And do you think that we could essentially just in perpetuity continue printing money?
No.
And how long could that continue
No,
for?
we can't, but we also have a solution. We have to continue growth with a moderate tax rate. So we have a GDP growth of north of 3%. That's how you pay down your national debt. But also do what Norway did. Say, okay, we're going to do this mandate on fossil fuels. We're going to provide the world with fossil fuels, and we're going to just pay down our debt with it. That's it. You could take a big chunk of it, maybe 20% away in the next 10 years.
You said most of the tax is paid by the ultra wealthy, and I'm sure that comes to a surprise to a lot of people. They're under the impression that they hear, oh, Amazon only paid like a effective 2% tax rate, or Elon Musk paid 8%, but he's got billions of dollars. How do you square that?
It's not factual. Wealthy people pay billions of dollars in taxes as well, and they also provide a massive amount of philanthropic donations because they're incented to do that on a tax basis. They pay it in capital gains mostly, not in income. That's the big difference. So they may go years paying no tax, and then when Elon Musk takes out $45 billion to buy Twitter, he paid a ton of tax on that because he turned it into cash and he finally paid his tax. And so that he's probably was the highest taxpayer in the country that year. But it's big bursts of tax they're paying, but they still pay a ton of tax.
If you could partner with one entrepreneur for a venture, who would it be?
It'd be Mr. Wonderful. I love that guy. No question. That guy really understands deal structure.
He's got it.
Yeah. I mean, they're always saying, which shark do you want to partner with? I partner with the guy I love. He's Mr. Wonderful. He's the best. That's it.